Podcast episode, Mastering the Board, The Art of Aim Carrom. Introduction. Host introduction. Greet listeners and introduce the podcast theme. Overview of episode. Briefly outline what will be discussed, including the basics of Aim Carrom, expert advice, and strategies. Segment 1. Understanding Aim Carrom. Definition and rules. Explain what Aim Carrom is, including the basic rules of the game. History of Carrom. A brief discussion on how Carrom has evolved and its variations across different cultures. Segment 2. Expert interview. Guest introduction. Introduce an expert or a renowned Carrom player. Interview. How did you start playing Carrom? What are some techniques you use to improve your aiming in Carrom? Can you share a memorable match or experience? Tips for beginners and advanced players. Segment 3. Strategy deep dive. Basic strategies. Discuss basic techniques like finger positioning and striking. Advanced techniques. Cover more complex strategies like rebound shots and defensive play. Practice routines. Tips on effective practice routines to improve precision and control. Segment 4. Listener interaction. Q&A. Answer questions sent in by listeners ahead of the episode. Stories. Share anecdotes or stories from the listeners about their experiences with Carrom. Conclusion. Recap. Summarize the key points discussed in the episode. Call to action. Encourage listeners to share their Carrom stories and tips on social media. Outro. Thank the guests and listeners for tuning in, and mention where to find the podcast online for future episodes. Detailed script sample. Host. Welcome to Board Game Brilliance, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of board games and strategies. Today, we're zeroing in on a game that requires skill, precision, and a steady hand. Aim Carrom. Whether you're a seasoned player or just curious about this fascinating game, this episode is for you. Host. Carrom is a tabletop game of Indian origin that has gained international fame. It's played by aiming and flicking a striker disc with your fingers, trying to sink your pieces into the board's corner pockets. But there's a lot more to it than just shooting pieces at random. Guest introduction. Joining us today is Alex Doe, a champion Carrom player who has won several national championships and is known for his sharp aiming techniques. Alex, welcome to the show. Alex, thanks for having me. It's great to be here and talk about Carrom, a passion of mine.